The lonely wife. ADOMA had always been the faithful wife, the benchmark her friends pointed to when speaking about loyalty. 3 years into her marriage, living in a quiet rented apartment in Kumasi, she carried her second pregnancy like a crown and a burden. Her husband, Kwesi, worked in Dubai, sending money, promises, and voice notes that sounded like comfort but felt like ghosts. He visited only twice a year, but pregnancy is a strange thing. It makes the heart needy, the body sensitive, and the mind vulnerable. By her 4th month, the cravings weren't only for mangoes or ice cubes. She craved presence, warmth, hands, a heartbeat beside hers, and that was how it began. She did the one thing she believed she would never do. She cheated. His name was Kojo, but everyone in Adam Market called him the polished one. He was everything Kwesi wasn't: present, charming, dangerous, and beautifully available. Their first meeting was accidental. Their second meeting was intentional. The third, sinful. Every time Kojo touched her, she told herself, "It's just affection. He fills the space until my husband returns." Justification softened guilt. Soon it became a routine. Messages at midnight, quick meetups behind her shop, and long drives where she forgot she was married. But Kojo was not who he seemed. He had secrets, and one of them was already watching her. Part 3. The Eye in the Shadows. 2 months into the affair, Adoma began noticing strange things. Her doorbell ringing at odd hours, shadows lingering near her window, her phone mysteriously switching on by itself. Anonymous messages like, "How does betrayal feel on your tongue? He deserves better." At first she thought it was paranoia caused by hormones, until one night she heard footsteps outside her door at 2:17 a.m. She froze. Her baby turned in her womb. Her breath caught. Then the footsteps stopped, and a note slid under the door. "You're not the only one in this game." Her heart nearly stopped. Kwesi called unexpectedly. "Babe, surprise. I'm coming home next week. I want to be there for the last trimester." Her heart dropped like stone in water. Guilt punched her lungs. She ended things with Kojo immediately. Or she tried. Kojo laughed, a cold laugh, the kind that sticks to your bones. "You think you can use me to warm your loneliness and walk away? My dear, this was not a fling. This was a transaction." "A transaction," she whispered. "Yes, you owe me something, and I always collect my debts." Before she could ask what he meant, he ended the call and blocked her. But her nightmare wasn't over. Kwesi arrived with gifts, excitement, and love that made Adoma feel like a criminal. On his second day home, he installed a new CCTV system in the house. "You need security," he said. "This area isn't safe." That night, while reconnecting with his wife, he left his phone unlocked on the bed. A notification flashed. "Video file ready, bedroom_cam_4. Her blood turned to ice. Kwesi had installed the security system before, months before, remotely. Heart racing, Adoma touched the file. She saw herself, on the bed, naked, with Kojo, different angles, different days, different sins. A scream tore from her throat. Kwesi jumped, confused. "What's wrong?" he asked. She hid the phone. "Nothing, just pain, stomach tightening." But her mind was breaking. 2 days later, an email arrived, no sender name. When she opened it, her knees nearly buckled. Kojo, standing bare-chested, holding up a USB. 40,000 CDs, or your husband gets the full collection. Her vision blurred. The walls trembled. Her unborn baby kicked violently. That evening she pretended all was well, but she moved like a ghost, breath shallow, soul shattered. The next morning, the police arrived. 3 officers, a plain-clothed detective, and behind them, a familiar face. Kojo, handcuffed, head bowed. Adoma nearly fainted. Kwesi stepped into view, expression stone cold. "Sweetheart," he said quietly, "why didn't you tell me you were being blackmailed?" The world blurred. Her ears rang. Her husband had known. He had known everything. He gestured calmly. I set the trap. He fell into it. I wanted to see how far he'd go. Kojo spat on the ground. She played me. Kwesi's voice cut like a blade. Officer, take him. As Kojo was dragged away, he glared at Adoma with murderous eyes. This is not over. Then he was gone. The door shut. Silence. Kwesi turned to her slowly. Too slowly. Adoma, he said, voice deep and trembling. Not angry, not shouting. Worse. Calm. Dead calm. I forgave you the first time. Her heart stopped. The first time? She whispered. Yes, he said softly. The flirtation messages. Last year. She staggered backward. I forgave you the second time, too. Tears spilled down her face. But this? He picked up the phone, showing the videos. This is the third time, and I believe in patterns. She fell to her knees. Kwesi, please. I beg. He raised a hand. No need for explanations. Then he walked past her, opened the main door, and said, I'll take care of the child. You, take care of yourself. He stepped outside, closed the door, and left, leaving her alone in the house, pregnant, destroyed, and echoing with silence. 1 year later, the rebirth. Adoma's life collapsed the moment Kwesi closed the door that day, but life has a way of forcing broken women to become warriors. She moved to a small compound house in Bantama, living with her newborn son, Ayan, whose eyes carried a strange calmness, as if he could see the world beyond the world. People called him the quiet baby, but there was nothing ordinary about him. He never cried at night, never startled at loud sounds, and sometimes he stared at the door before someone knocked. Adoma found healing in isolation. She worked at a small seamstress shop by day and prayed by night, not for Kwesi to return, but for God to restore her shattered soul. And slowly, peace came, not loud or dramatic, just steady. But peace never lasts where secrets still breathe. Ayan's strange destiny. At 6 months old, Ayan began doing something unusual. Every time someone with bad intentions entered their home, the baby would scream, not out of fear, but warning. Neighbors began to whisper, that child is spiritually marked. His eyes see too much. At 10 months old, Ayan started tapping the floor 3 times before crawling, a habit no one taught him. At 1 year old, when a neighbor tried stealing Adoma's money, the baby touched her ankle and whispered his first word, lie. 2 days later, the neighbor confessed. People feared him. Adoma feared for him, but she loved him fiercely. Little did she know, his gift was the very thing that would attract the darkness she tried to flee. Kwesi's awakening. Meanwhile in Dubai, Kwesi discovered something that cracked his soul open. A message from an unknown number, a video, a man's voice, but not Kojo's, speaking behind the camera. Bro, I told you she was vulnerable. Just keep the money coming. Kwesi froze. It was the CCTV installer, a stranger, laughing, gloating. You owe me, Kojo. I got the angles perfect. The husband will think the woman paid us to record. Women and guilt, perfect combination. The phone slipped from Kwesi's hand. Cold reality struck him like lightning. Kojo never recorded anything. It was a setup, a manipulation, and he, Kwesi, had condemned an innocent woman based on the wickedness of strangers. A slow horror crawled through him. If that was a lie, everything he believed, everything he did, was a mistake. His shame was too heavy, but he knew one thing. He had to find her, and he had to face the darkness he had helped unleash. Kojo was never meant to stay in prison long. He had connections, he had money, he had spite, and worst of all, he had nothing left to lose. When he stepped out of Nsawam prison, leaner, angrier, and with scars across his eyebrow, he had one mission. Adoma will pay, and I'll take the child. Both of them owe me. His hatred kept him awake. His plans kept him alive. His revenge guided his feet. The night Ayan spoke the truth. One rainy Wednesday evening, Adoma was rocking Ayan to sleep when the baby suddenly stiffened, eyes wide. Mama, he whispered, pointing at the door. Man, come. No one is coming, she said softly. He shook his head violently. Man, come. A knock followed immediately. Boom, boom, boom. Slow, deliberate, chilling. Her blood froze. The baby clung to her. Outside, thunder rumbled. She approached the door with trembling hands, and a strange calmness washed over her. She opened it, and there he stood, Kojo, soaked in rain, eyes wild, a smile like a cracked skull. "Hello, Adoma," he whispered. "You thought you were done with me?" Ayan screamed, not in fear, in warning. The child pointed at Kojo's wrist. "Fire." Kojo blinked. "Huh?" The streetlight flickered. Suddenly, Kwesi stepped out of the shadows behind Kojo, holding a metal bar. "No!" he shouted. "Ayan meant, move!" Kojo turned, but not fast enough. Lightning struck the electric pole. The live wire snapped and dropped on Kojo's left arm. A violent flash, a scream, the smell of burning flesh. Kojo fell to the ground, convulsing, smoking, unconscious. The rain hissed over his body, and the street went silent. Ayan hid his face in Adoma's chest. Kwesi dropped the metal bar and fell to his knees in tears. "I'm sorry," he cried. "My God, Adoma, I'm sorry. They tricked me. I destroyed us. I destroyed you." Adoma said nothing. She only held her child tighter. The revelation light returned. The rain softened. Suddenly, Kwesi stepped out of the shadows behind Kojo, holding a metal bar. "No!" he shouted. "Ayan meant, move!" Kojo turned, but not fast enough. Lightning struck the electric pole. The live wire snapped and dropped on Kojo's left arm. A violent flash, a scream, the smell of burning flesh. Kojo fell to the ground, convulsing, smoking, unconscious. The rain hissed over his body, and the street went silent. Ayan hid his face in Adoma's chest. Kwesi dropped the metal bar and fell to his knees in tears. "I'm sorry," he cried. "My God, Adoma, I'm sorry. They tricked me. I destroyed us. I destroyed you." Adoma said nothing. She only held her child tighter. The revelation light returned. The rain softened. Ayan reached his tiny hand toward Kwesi, calm, sure, powerful. The baby touched Kwesi's forehead and whispered, "Truth." Kwesi gasped. A rush of visions flooded him. The lies, the manipulation, his abandonment, her suffering, Kojo's trap. He broke completely. Ayan pulled his hand back and laid his head on his mother's chest, exhausted. This was no ordinary child. He could read intent, expose hidden evil, force truth, warn danger. A baby prophet, born from betrayal, designed for correction, a child of justice. Kwesi lifted his eyes to Adoma, desperate. Can you ever forgive me?" She looked at him long and hard. Rain dripped from the roof. Kojo lay unconscious on the cold ground. Ayan slept quietly between them. Her voice was soft. "I don't know." But she didn't close the door on him. Not yet. Some endings must unfold slowly. Some healing must be earned. Some destinies must mature. And as she carried Ayan inside, the child whispered one last word before sleep took him. More. Because the story wasn't over. Not for Adoma, not for Kwesi, not for Kojo, who would awaken soon with rage burning deeper, and not for Ayan, the child born with a voice that could alter destinies. This was just the beginning. 10 years later, Ayan did not grow like normal children. His growth was slow but deliberate. Every year came with a new layer of wisdom, and every birthday unlocked a new gift no human child should possess. At 3 years old, he could sense lies before they were spoken. At 5, he could calm storms in the house by touching the wall and whispering, "Quiet." At 7, he started waking at midnight to pray, unprovoked, murmuring words older than the Bible. And at 10, Ayan began to see spirits. He drew them on paper, tall shadows, glowing figures, winged beings, and one particular presence he called the Broken One. Adoma always tore the drawings, terrified, but the more she tried to hide his gifts, the stronger they became. Kwesi had returned to Ghana and rebuilt a relationship with Ayan, though Adoma never fully opened her heart to him again. Their home became a delicate balance of love, avoidance, forgiveness, and unspoken pain. But harmony is a fragile thing, and darkness never forgets. Kojo's return, reborn in darkness. The lightning strike had nearly killed him, but nearly is not the same as completely. Rumors whispered that Kojo was taken to a small shrine by men who owed him favors. Others said he crawled there himself, half dead but fueled by vengeance. Whatever happened, he did not return as a man. He returned as something else. His left arm, burned, twisted, was wrapped in black cloth, rumored to hold a power no mortal should command. His eyes were no longer normal. One flickered like dying fire. They called him the Returned One, the Scarred Ghost, the man who should not live. And he lived for one purpose. Ayan, the child robbed me of my life. I will take his. Ayan's first vision. It happened on a Tuesday evening. Adoma was preparing banku when Ayan froze, eyes rolled upward, spoon dropping from his hand. Ayan? She panicked. He spoke in a voice not his own, older, layered, echoing. The one you left for dead walks again. He carries smoke. He carries fire. He carries your past in his left arm. Adoma's knees weakened. Kwesi rushes inside. What's happening? Ayan's head turned toward the door, pupils silver. He is coming. Lightning flashed outside. Kwesi shut all the doors, but Ayan shook his head. You cannot lock out a shadow, Papa. The prophecy revealed. Desperate, Adoma took Ayan to a secluded mountain prayer camp where an old prophetess named Nana Akosuasika lived. The woman was blind but saw everything. Before they even entered, the prophetess screamed, "Take the boy away from the gate. He is too bright." Adoma trembled. "Mother, what is wrong with my son?" The prophetess touched Ayan's head with trembling hands and whispered, "You have not birthed a child. You have birthed an instrument." She lifted her face to the sky. Her voice broke. Ayan was born to expose hidden darkness in the world. He walks between the realms. He is a child of truth, not mercy. Where he stands, evil cannot hide. Kwesi swallowed hard. And Kojo? The prophetess stiffened. He carries a spirit of vengeance, half man, half shadow. He wants the boy not to kill him, but to silence him. Ayan is the only one who can reveal what Kojo truly is. A chill ran through the air. Adoma whispered, "So what must we do?" The prophetess turned her blind eyes toward her. "Mother, your destiny is now tied to two paths. One will save your son. One will save your marriage. But you cannot choose both." Adoma's breath caught. "What do you mean?" The prophetess's voice turned grave. "Kwesi will never fully accept the spiritual mantle placed on Ayan. He will pull you one way. Destiny will pull you another. One path leads to spiritual power. One path leads to earthly stability. You must choose which life to follow." Adoma felt the ground sway beneath her. Kojo arrives at the camp. That night, while they slept in the prayer hut, Ayan sat up suddenly. "He is here," he whispered. Outside the wind shifted. Footsteps echoed. A low, sinister laugh sliced through the silence. Kwesi grabbed a lantern. "Stay behind me." The door creaked, and Kojo stepped in. His left arm glowed from under the black cloth, pulsing like molten metal. His eyes burned with rage. "Ayan," he hissed, "come and finish what you started." Adoma grabbed her son. "Stay away from him." Kojo lifted his twisted arm, and the lantern flickered violently. Shadows crawled across the walls like living snakes. Kwesi charged at Kojo. Kojo lifted one finger. Kwesi flew backwards, hitting the wall with a sickening thud. Adoma screamed. Ayan stepped forward. "No!" Adoma cried. "Ayan, don't!" The child's voice changed again, calm, steady, ancient. "Kojo, you were not meant to die that night, but you were not meant to come back like this." Kojo snarled, "What do you know, boy?" Ayan reached out his small palm. The black cloth on Kojo's arm caught fire, spiritual fire. Kojo screamed. The room shook. The shadows recoiled. Ayan whispered, "Your time is not my destruction. Your time is your confession." Kojo collapsed to the ground, shaking uncontrollably. Kwesi staggered up, watching in awe and fear. Adoma held her chest, trembling. The boy's gift, his destiny, his calling. It was too much for a mother's heart. Kojo lay unconscious. The shadows disappeared. Silence returned. Ayan fainted from exhaustion, and Nana Akosua Sika appeared in the doorway, leaning on her staff. Her voice was soft but firm. "Adoma, the boy's destiny has begun. The question now is, will you follow him into the spiritual path where the world will fear and respect you? Or will you choose your marriage and force him into a life where his gifts will be misunderstood and eventually destroyed?" Kwesi looked at her, eyes pleading. "Adu, choose us. Choose our family." The prophetess shook her head. "You cannot serve destiny and comfort at the same time." Adoma held her sleeping son. Her tears wet his hair. Her heart cracked. One path led to power. One path led to love. But only one would protect Ayan's life, and she knew her decision. She kissed her son's forehead, lifted her gaze, and whispered, "I choose." If you want part 4, tell me. The choice that changes everything. Silence held its breath. The prophetess waited. Kwesi waited. The spirits gathering around the camp waited. Even Kojo, half dead, half shadow, lay trembling at Adoma's feet, as though the world itself had paused, afraid of her next word. Adoma hugged Ayan tighter. Her tears dripped onto his cheek. She inhaled and whispered the words that shattered everything. "I choose his destiny." Kwesi staggered back as if stabbed. "Ah, Adoma, no, no, don't do this." But she didn't look at him. She pressed Ayan closer. Nana Akosua Sika nodded slowly. "The path of fire," the prophetess murmured. "Not comfort, courage, not closeness, purpose, not partnership. So it shall be." Kwesi shook his head violently. "So you're choosing spirits over your own husband? Adoma, we rebuilt everything. I came back. I've been here. Doesn't that count for something?" Her voice trembled. "It counts, but destiny counts more." Kwesi sank to his knees, devastated. Ayan slept in Adoma's arms, unaware that the course of his life and hers had been sealed with one sentence. The separation. The prophetess raised her staff. A low hum rolled through the camp, deep, ancient, like the earth groaning beneath the soil. "Kwesi," she said, her blind eyes glowing faintly, "you may walk with her for a time, but you cannot walk with the boy." Kwesi looked crushed. "Why? Why can't I be part of his calling?" "You fear what you do not understand," Nana Akosua replied, "and fear turns men into enemies of the very destiny they're meant to protect." Kwesi's voice cracked. "Adoma, please, choose us. Choose me." Adoma closed her eyes. "I am choosing life, Ayan's life. If I stay with you, you will eventually fight what he becomes." Kwesi covered his face. His heartbreak was thunderous. Their love, shaken, bruised, tested, finally crumbled under the weight of destiny. Kojo awakens. The confession. A violent cough. Kojo jolted upright, drenched in sweat, trembling, no longer a living shadow, but something between man and monster. His voice cracked. Adoma, I didn't mean to follow this path." Ayan, still unconscious, twitched in her arms as if reacting to Kojo's words. Kojo clutched his burnt arm, and the black cloth dissolved into ash. Underneath, instead of flesh, was something horrifying, a hollow arm, like charcoal carved by fire, glowing faintly from inside. Kwesi backed away in fear. Adoma's breath caught. Kojo wept. "I tried to kill him, but the spirit that saved me that night chained itself to me. I can't control it. I can't sleep. I can't think. I see shadows everywhere. Adoma, help me, please. I'm tired." His voice broke into sobs. Nana Akosua stepped forward. "The child forced your truth. Now you must accept it." Kojo looked up, eyes hollow. "What happens to me now?" The prophetess's answer was cold and gentle at once. You become part of the prophecy. Ayan's awakening. The calling deepens. Ayan gasped in Adoma's arms. His eyes flicked open, silver, glowing, electric, not human. He stared directly at Kojo's burnt arm. His tiny voice echoed, "You are the first of many." Kojo trembled. What does that mean? Ayan blinked once, slowly, anciently, then spoke a prophecy that twisted the night inside out. Darkness is rising. Men who walk half alive will seek me. Shadows will hunt me. But I was born for this. A gust of wind burst through the hut. The lantern blew out. Ayan continued, "Kojo, your suffering is not punishment. It is assignment." Kojo's eyes widened. "My assignment?" Ayan nodded. "You will protect me." Kwesi exploded. "What? This man tried to kill you." But Ayan didn't look at Kwesi. He whispered again, voice thunderous and calm, "He will protect me, because the darkness that hunts me fears him." The three paths. Nana Akosua Sika raised both hands. 3 streams of spiritual light flickered in the air. 1 path of blue, 1 path of red, 1 path of gold. She pointed. "Adoma, these are the pathways before you. 1. The blue path, solitary power. You and Ayan walk alone. Your spiritual mantle grows. You become a warrior mother feared by spirits, but you lose all love. 2. The red path, the return of Kojo. Kojo becomes your guardian. Your lives intertwine again, not romantically, but through destiny. Together you face enemies that would destroy other families, but the world will accuse you of taking back a cursed man. 3. The gold path, the marriage that must break you stay with Kwesi. Ayan's powers are hidden. Your home remains stable for a time, but eventually Kwesi will turn against Ayan's calling, and the boy will suffer greatly. Adoma trembled. Kwesi cried openly now. Kojo bowed his head, broken but listening. Ayan simply stared at the lights, calm, sure, unafraid. Adoma whispered, "Which one does destiny want?" The prophetess smiled faintly. "That is why destiny chose you, Adoma. Only a mother's heart can pick the right path." The vision of the future. Ayan touched Adoma's cheek. Instantly, she saw. Ayan grown, powerful, glowing like lightning. Dark spirits hunting him. Cities trembling at his gift. Kojo fighting shadows beside him. Kwesi crying in regret, too late to return. And herself, older, strong, feared, respected, chosen. The vision faded. Adoma's breath shook. She now understood everything. The mother's choice. She lifted her son, held him close, and turned to the prophetess. "I choose the path that keeps Ayan alive." Nana Akosua nodded. "Then you must walk with Kojo." Kwesi collapsed, devastated. Kojo froze, shocked. Even Ayan blinked, surprised, but accepting. Kwesi whispered, "Adoma, please, don't leave me." Her voice broke. "I'm not leaving you, but you cannot walk this path with us." Kwesi cried like a man watching his whole life burn. Kojo looked away, ashamed. Ayan placed his head on Adoma's shoulder. "The new journey begins." Nana Akosua Sika raised her staff. "Kojo," she commanded, "stand." He did. "Swear your arm, your suffering, your spirit, to the safety of this child." Kojo knelt before Ayan. "I swear." Ayan's silver eyes glowed. "So it begins." Adoma stepped forward. Kojo stepped beside her. Kwesi watched from behind as the 3 walked into the night, mother, son, and cursed guardian. And destiny whispered, "The real war starts now." 18 years passed like whispered storms. Ayan grew into a young man with eyes like molten silver and a presence that made even elders bow their heads. He was tall, calm, and terrifyingly gifted, neither fully human nor fully spirit. Kojo, now stripped of his rage, walked beside him like a silent shadow. His burnt arm no longer tormented him. It glowed when danger approached. Adoma, older but stronger, had become a spiritual matriarch. People whispered her name with a mixture of respect and fear, the mother of the seer. Kwesi. Kwesi had disappeared years ago. Some said heartbreak dragged him into madness. Others said jealousy dragged him into darkness. But destiny remembers everything. The night of reckoning. On Ayan's 18th birthday, the sky turned purple. Not dusk, not dawn, something unnatural. Kojo felt his arm burn. Adoma felt her spirit twist. Ayan stepped outside their mountain home and said quietly, "He is coming." The air bowed, the earth shivered, and a figure emerged from the forest. Not Kojo, not a spirit, Kwesi, but not the man he once was. His eyes were sunken, glowing red. His shadow moved before he did, and a dark mark twisted around his neck, the sign of those who bargain with ancient spirits. Adoma fell to her knees, heart breaking. "Kwesi, what have you done?" His voice was deeper, cracked, hollow. "What I had to. I lost you. I lost him. But I found power." Ayan stepped forward, calm. "You made a pact." Kwesi smiled sadly. "For you, for us, for what we were meant to be." Kojo raised his arm, ready. Ayan lifted a hand, stopping him. "No, I face him alone." Father versus son, Kwesi's shadow lunged. Ayan stood unmoving. Light burst from his body, bright, ancient, pure. Kwesi screamed. The dark spirit behind him twisted violently, trying to cling to him, but Ayan's light exposed the truth. Kwesi hadn't become evil, he had become desperate. Ayan touched his father's forehead. Truth. And Kwesi collapsed, weeping, shaking, shattered. "I only wanted my family back," Kwesi whispered. "I only wanted you." Ayan knelt beside him, voice gentle. "You lost us when you refused destiny, but you are still my father." Kwesi looked up. "Can you forgive me?" Ayan nodded once. "Yes." Kwesi released a long, trembling breath, and the shadow lifted off him. Then silently, peacefully, Kwesi died in Ayan's arms, a man broken by love, freed by truth. Adoma screamed his name, grief exploding out of her. Kojo held her as she trembled. Ayan closed Kwesi's eyes. The war was over, not with violence, but with confession. The awakening lightning split the sky. Ayan rose, glowing brighter than ever. Kojo stepped back. Adoma covered her face. Ayan whispered, "It is done." A soft wind swirled around him, forming a halo of silver light. Nana Akosua-Sika's prophecy echoed through the air. "He will be light in places where shadows hide." Ayan turned to his mother. "Destiny calls me now. I must walk the earth. I must heal what is hidden, break what is corrupt, expose what destroys." Adoma shook her head, tears flowing. "You're still my child." Ayan held her hands gently. "And I always will be. But my journey begins tonight." He hugged her, long, deep, full. Kojo bowed to him. "My life is yours to protect." Ayan smiled faintly. "It always was." With a final glance at his father's body, his mother's trembling hands, and Kojo's glowing arm, Ayan stepped into the dawn. Light swallowed him. The world shifted. A new legend was born. The end.